And as we all know, eyes are the windows to the soul, and when creating characters, getting the perfect eye sometimes might not be the easiest of things to do. But today we're getting some impressive assets from askNK. askNK has released the Tiny Eye 1.2, and this is a free and fully procedural set of eyes that comes with 30 plus eyesight that you can use totally for free. This is fully compatible with EV and cycles, and if you're into creating characters, this is some impressive stuff that you should get. So for those who like to get this, there's going to be a link in the description that'll bring you right here where you can pick it up and start doing some amazing stuff. And how you get to play with this in Blender is simple. So with Blender simply open, all you need to do is go over to Edit, go over to Preference, go over to File Path, and click on the plus button within your asset library and load the Tiny Eye 1.2. Actually, once you download this, you need to dig in a little bit more for you to find the Blender file. So load in the Tiny Eye 1.2, and once you're done, click on the Bugger menu and click on Save Preference. Now once you're done, if you go over to your asset browser and click on the drop down, you would notice that you have the Tiny Eye 1.2. If this doesn't load, click on the refresh button and this automatically loads. The very first thing which you would notice is you have a default realistic eye and a default stylized eye. And the best way to get the most out of this is to set up a scene. So with this here, you can tell that we have beautiful looking eye. This is the realistic one. Let's take a look at the default stylized one. So I'm just going to click, drag and drop that right here. And you can see how cool this is. This is looking pretty. So the realistic one ships with some pretty interesting textures right here, while the stylized one looks pretty plain and really nice. Now this is categorized into 3 different types if you discount the default one. So we have the stylized one, we have the realistic one, and also the animal one. So depending on what you're trying to do and depending on the kind of characters that you're creating, you definitely find something for them. So if you're creating realistic ones, you get to see some realistic eyes which you can play with. Every character has a different color of eye and you can find something that simply matches. And if you're creating stylized one, the same thing applies. And of course, if you're creating animal ones, some very interesting animal shapes are also available right here. Now, one thing which you would notice as well is if you have any of these eyes selected, you can go over to where we have the object data. So within this section, you do have shape keys. Now with the shape keys, you can make some changes. So at this point, if we like to have some reptilian eye, we can. So I can simply have this selected and we can push this all the way to this point. So you do have things like that. You can also animate this if you want. And the same thing happens with the goat eye. So for example, you want to have goat eyes, you can do that as well. And if you like to have some heart, of course you can. So you can do some heart as well, and you can make some interesting changes. Further changes can also be done in various parts of this tool. So for example, let's just go ahead and get rid of this. So for example, if you like to play with the shader, you can definitely go over to the shader editor, have the object selected, and you have lots of options. So at this point, we can play with the color. So I will probably want to have very interesting color. If you like to play with the bottom hue, of course you can. If you like to play with the top shadow, the bottom glow, you have options to do all of these things. So this is just very useful. Some contrast would be nice if you want to have that. If you like to randomize this, of course you can. So you can do some very interesting randomization, and you can see that the pattern within the eye just simply changes. The ciliary zone is also something that you can play with. You can also play with the hue from there, and you can play with the scale. So all of these are available totally for free. I had to jump on this because I believe lots of people will take advantage of it and get some of these things within their assets, and they can use them to fine-tune and create some very impressive character instead of reinventing the wheel every single time they're making a model. So this is it for those who are into creating characters, and maybe you like to have something that is super useful that you can work with, especially when creating eyes, or you like this eye set. Then you can simply go over to the link in the description and take a look at askNK and grab the Tiny Eye 1.2. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you like something from this, you can go ahead and give a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.